Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. If you are listening to this, you've listened to the very first Two Geeks Discuss podcast that me and Dan have done, which is the Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exciting. I can't remember what we talked about. I just know we talked about the Horus Heresy. It was ages ago when we recorded it.
Yeah, we did, which I think is why we're doing a little intro,
so
that people can kind of go, oh yeah, this is cool.
It is good.
So yeah, there may be a few little mistakes in this one, as this was the first one that we did as well. Kind of volumes and things like that. You might hear a few crackles and things, but yeah, we get better at that. So ish, yeah. And that's about it, really.
And so there's more to come. What have we got coming up in the future that we've already recorded?
Oh, episodes wise, yeah. Well, I don't want to spoil it. Don't want to spoil it for people because it'd be a surprise every week.
Because we haven't released the second one.
Exactly, we haven't released the second one yet, have we? Obviously, me and you know what that is, but they don't.
Wow.
Which is an incentive for them to listen further.
Oh no, but maybe we should be that. There's one on Rome. The
okay,
TV
yeah,
show.
we're just going for this.
Well, because then they might be interested in finding the others, or in anticipation.
But they're going to be coming in later on, so
maybe. Okay, I can't remember what the other ones were anyway.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I do.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is like a memory challenge.
It's like a memory challenge. Yeah.
What else have we talked about for about an hour in recent history?
Vikings was the last one
Vikings. Do we do? Oh, we did another 40k one.
Yeah, we have done another 40k one, which will be coming out
it's actually 30K.
a week after this one. So
cool.
Yeah.
Great. So look forward to it. And thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated.
Here's a few previews of what's coming up.
Here's the theme tune.
Yeah. Here you go. Thanks for listening. Thank you very much for listening into this podcast. Currently unnamed, but hopefully by the time it goes up on the internet, we'll have a name, which will be good.
I think we've got to, for naming our channel purposes.
Legal reasons, yeah. But sat opposite me is Mr. Dan Woodhouse.
Hello.
Reverend, actually, yeah, let's get this correct. So he's going to bring in the pacifist arguments for why the Horus Heresy ended the way it did. So,
yeah.
Well done. But yeah, it's just one of these things that we wanted to talk about. Both me and Dan are massive fans of Warhammer 40k, or in this case, 30k.
Yeah.
And, we're just really fascinated by the whole world, and we just really, just wanted to talk about it, I suppose, and just get you guys' opinions on it and things like that as well. So please feel free to just kind of mention things in the comments, and we'll try and get back to you as much as we can. But if it goes on a tangent, probably not.
Yeah. I mean, in the early days, we'll be straight back to you.
Yeah, straight, yeah.
All three of you will be properly answering you.
Exactly. I'll be like, Mum, thanks for your thoughts on Sanguinius.
Yeah, that's it.
I have to say I disagree with you.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would ever turn, that's obvious. But, I appreciate the fact that you're contributing to the page and the society.
That's it. My mum would never listen to this, even politely.
Why not? You made her a brain cake. I think
she did. That brain cake was amazing.
Exactly. There's no barriers that can be crossed right now, mate.
I made my mum my mum's in her mid to late 60s, and I saw a cake which I thought was really cool, which was basically a cake in the shape of a brain. It was very gory, and it looked from a distance almost like bloody sausages.
Super disturbing.
It was really. I put some like those sweet, like sugary flowers on to just take the edge off. And
did that work? Because I feel like she kind of came out there and went, "Well, what is this?"
She said, "When you get past how it looks, it tastes really nice." So
there's a compliment in there. At least.
It looks amazing. If you're a fan of 40k, I think you'd be a fan of my cake because it's a bit macabre, and 40k, is
40k is extremely macabre
and hopeless.
Well, it's called the Grim Dark Future for a reason, I suppose, isn't it? I mean,
in the darkness of the grim future, was it? I don't know. I haven't heard that for ages. They haven't hammered it into my brain for a while.
I'm sure somebody.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there's only war.
I think that's
it. Is that it? Yeah.
Or there's only countdown. So
I heard they were axing that recently.
Really?
I couldn't believe it myself, but someone told me.
Why?
I don't know.
That's like a British staple from...
Yeah, exactly. It was
eons
the
ago.
first TV show to be aired on Channel 4.
After Old Night, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Well done.
Yeah, that's it. So, for our American listeners, just go and Google what Countdown is.
All
It's a
four
British
of
show. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Well done.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you stumbled across this thinking that you found something else, we
That's
haven't even
it.
talked about 30k yet.
That's right.
3 minutes in, mate. Not even talked about it.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
I did say, Adam did say, like, we'll probably do about an hour. And I was like, half an hour, surely.
Yeah.
And he says, no, we can talk. You'll see how it goes. He's right.
I mean, yeah.
It's true.
We talk so much BS anyway, I mean. But anyway, let's get back on topic.
Yeah.
Horus Heresy. I suppose the first question is what would be your favourite part of it? If you had to pick a certain part, because this is super hard because there are so many amazing points.
As in, like kind of over like broad brush kind of strokes of which part of the,
like if you had to have a defining moment, so either like the Burning Prospero or...
I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, obviously you're not happy about that and we'll talk about that at some point. I feel it's totally justified. Or, like the Isfahan atrocities.
Yeah, they were funny.
Yes. So bad. If you don't know already, by Dan's attitude, I'm pretty sure he's a heretic and a traitor. But for anybody out there, actually, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Start with like what kind of faction you kind of side with, I suppose.
Yeah. And we've got a good split because it's kind of traitors and loyalists, chaos and not chaos.
Yeah, that's true.
In us. So I predominantly played chaos, and Emperor's Children particularly. So
both bad choices.
Yeah. I started actually off in 40k playing Tau, and there was Roshova Tau. So Commander Farsight Tau.
The rebel.
Yeah, and then when I went from that army, like years later, because I was, it's difficult to buy like kind of 40k when you're 13. I had to eat less at school and save my dinner money.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
I thought for a second you were talking about you needed a license. I was like, you don't need a license. I remember being 13 by
that's it. No, it's difficult. So, then I went to, I did some Chaos Marines for a little bit. But they didn't particularly stick, and then went away from...
Did you have any particular faction?
Well, I'm a little bit embarrassed about the faction, you see, now looking back.
Was it Khorne?
Well, yeah, so I wasn't going to do Khorne, and I wanted to do...
Not that Khorne are bad.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to do them, but back in the day, I can't remember which edition it was, I wanted to do a biker army, so it was when you could first turbo boost bikers.
Oh,
so I did a complete biker army.
That must have been expensive. No wonder you had to starve.
Yeah, that's it. This was when I was 18, actually. I started doing that, and it was when I just moved to Reading for a bit.
So you still didn't have any money?
So I still didn't. Actually, well, it's the first time I had a bit of disposable income, actually. So I bought Star Trek Voyager DVDs and Warhammer.
That's all. That's all it was.
That's it. So I was talking to the guy in Games Workshop, and I was thinking about, like maybe thought about the White Scars.
Yeah, good shout.
But yeah, I don't know which one's more regrettable, if I'd gone for White Scars so I was talking to the guy, I think I was going to go for Chaos because they had more attacks and I wanted to be close combat. And then the guy showed me how you get...
Shocker.
Yeah, the guy showed me how you get Cornate Axes, which I think gave you an extra attack on top of that. So they were really cool.
Because is it because they're double chain swords, essentially?
Yeah,
or something.
I can't remember. Yeah,
you get that already in the normal.
So this was ages ago.
This
was you're talking 12 years ago.
Was it second edition or third edition?
No, it was past that. Maybe fourth or fifth. I don't know. What are we now? Eighth, probably fourth, fifth edition. I don't know. Well, whatever.
Because about the same time that I was into it, because I started with, I think it was Blood Angels. For some reason, I remember seeing them and going, I really like red.
Yeah.
So I just was like, cool, those are the guys I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
And then I realised that they have like Dante and some really crazy people. And I was like, even better, these guys are psychotic.
Yeah,
This is amazing.
Yeah.
But that was back in the day. That was like the old school models, I remember, which were, because actually that was the first time that Tau came out as well. Mm-hmm. And it was, everyone in the shop was going mental because it was this brand new army that they'd never had before. Yeah. Which was quite interesting. But then I was like, I have no idea who these guys are, but they look super Japanese / East Asian / technologically advanced.
Yeah. Leading to slightly racist computer games.
Yeah, pretty much. But we'll sidebar that.
It's a great game though, Fire Warrior.
That's it. Space communism.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Everyone's part of this equal society, but the Fire Warriors are more equal than everyone else.
Yeah.
And Yeah, so then, but it was the one where the actual models were really bulky. You know, it was just like the one pose. You couldn't change them, you couldn't do anything like that.
Models as well.
And I think that's one of the things actually that's come along massively.
Oh, do you mean the Tau? Oh, yeah.
No, not just all models.
Oh,
because
just
obviously the molds were just like, we've got this one mold, we can't do anything else. Whereas obviously it's advanced a lot and now you can change and do all kinds of different stuff. Whereas back then it was just like literally the solid guy who's just like standing to attention.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was all I had. So I remember that, yeah, so I started off with Blood. I think I've always just been loyalist. I don't know what it was. And I think even before I started listening to the Horus Heresy and kind of knowing more about it, I think I was just, I just like the good guys. I don't know what it is. I think the idea of just betraying friends just doesn't fit right with me.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, any RPG game, I'm always going to the good side. I'm sorry. It's just who I am.
I was trying to think who I've been on RPGs. I always like,
which means I'm loyal, ladies.
And like a real-time strategy, which is less role-playing, but I was always a Borg on real-time strategy games. Loved them. Oh, well, specifically Star Trek Armada 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's
no, 1. Sorry, I don't like number 2. It was rubbish. But Star Trek Armada 1, that was it.
That was a very specific.
Yeah.
And actually has nothing to do with Horus Heresy, so.
No, that's it, yeah. So I had, so I went with Khorne and I painted this kind of biker on me. They were orange and black and they looked quite cool. And that's when I first started converting, getting a love for converting models. Well,
you've actually won a prize, haven't you, for one of yours?
I've won 2, yeah. Oh. Not to show off, I've won, yeah, but
Of course you're going to show off. You bloody love the Emperor's Children, mate. It's all about flash with you.
Yeah, but not in a vulgar, obvious way.
Not in a, I've sold my soul to a Slaneshi demon prince thing, so.
Yeah, they've got style about them.
They have not.
Let's
not get into this again. You've not got any style. They're just mental. And really, really offensive to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I really like order, which is why I like the loyalists. Whereas those guys are just all about mentalness.
Yeah. Well, about kind of hedonism and, enjoying themselves.
Exactly.
What's the point in doing what's the point, even pre the fall?
So it started in the Garden of Eden, Daniel.
Yeah. That didn't happen. And no one even did 40k or hasn't yet.
Yeah.
That's
you see Fulgrim popping up going, oh, why don't you have this apple?
That's it, yeah. Well, I mean, the Emperor was meant to have been George, wasn't he, who killed the last dragon?
Was it?
Yeah, WWF went crazy.
That's
not the wrestlers.
Well, Peter got involved, didn't they, recently about the old fur on the Space Wolves, which is ridiculous. Yeah. Utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an animal lover, don't get me wrong. Not like that. That sounded really wrong, actually.
Yeah.
But, I don't think Peter needs to be wasting the time about essentially plastic figurines that have wolf pelts on them.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Actually, are there any wolves on Fenris?
That's it. Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's the real question.
There's no wolves on Fenris. Spoilers.
Well, according to Magnus.
Yeah.
But he's obviously got a bias.
Yeah. Well, he has now.
Alright, if he hasn't, he's very well controlled.
Yeah, that's it.
Horny, pointy rim guy is the new model.
Yeah.
Which looks super weird.
So I've done one of my favourite conversions I've done is, we are pinballing all over the place with subject matter here.
I love it. Just keep going.
I hope people are enjoying this.
Everyone's turned off, it's just me and you listening.
Well, that's what I assumed from the start anyway, but we'll see. So can we put up pictures? Can we do that? They'll say in podcasts we'll put up pictures.
We can do, yeah.
Maybe I did a conversion which was Magnus the Red.
Oh,
where
yeah,
I took a bottle of Magnus and wrote the red on it and then formed it into a model.
This is turning into a little bit of a sponsorship now. Are you looking for some free cider?
Yeah, you can find. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Magnus. I do like it, though. To be honest with you, there's a lot better cider out there than Magnus. I mean, it's one of the...
we are impartial on this podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm really far from being impartial on everything.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, you converted that. So what did you do with that?
So I stuck it to a base and put loads of green stuff around. I didn't spend too much time on it because I was thinking I probably spent about 5 hours making and painting it, which is quite a short period of time for how long it normally takes to make and paint something.
That is.
And,
I think partly because I'm a perfectionist, but I think I take far too long on some of my models.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm often the same, and the reason why I didn't is because I'm just like, this is such a stupid joke that spending 5 hours on it is ridiculous. I'm not spending any more. So the conversion was quite minimal, or not really a conversion, it's just a bottle stuck to a base, and then I put green stuff around it to like do tentacles and stuff.
Yeah, you made that sound much more impressive than
it is cool. Like, look at it. It's like, we'll put pictures. It is cool. It is really good, but it's the stupidest joke.
This is going to be the biggest letdown ever.
Yeah,
when people see this.
No, it's great. Well, I'll say you'll chuckle. It's not even that funny. It's a good pun. Magnus.
This is going down like a lead balloon.
Magnus the Red. So anyway, I had corn because of the corn axes.
Yeah.
By the time I actually, I'd moved away and I lived in Reading for a year and a half. And then when I moved back to Long Eaton where I grew up, kind of everyone had stopped doing 40k. So I never really played with that army. I think I maybe had 1 or 2 battles with them.
So it's almost like you spent loads and loads of money on something and never used it. Yeah. Welcome to 40k!
Yeah, that's it. I've only had one game I've spent loads of money on a 30k army, and I've done Emperor's Children 30k, and I spent all the money so that's one of my other armies. I spent all the money to do them, so they've all got the proper arm pads and everything. I bought what's the Spartan tank?
Well, didn't this happen though, because expensive. You had a little gamer group and 40k was a bit dodgy rule-wise.
And they all started playing the game.
And they all started playing 30k, and then you got loads of stuff, and then they stopped.
A few of us did, and we started playing other games, and so, but I don't regret it.
Wow.
I tell you what, one of my favourite models that I painted is a Emperor's Children Contemptor Dreadnought,
that does look good actually.
Yeah, and it's on Isfahan 5
It's on
as well.
Isfahan 5 sound, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one with the
dead
shredded iron hands underneath it?
Yeah.
That is good actually. That's a good little, nice little scene.
It's cool. So for all of them with stupid money I spent on it, to have like got them painted that, I'm quite happy with that. So even if we will use the army one day. My mate Rob has got Ultramarines. Oh no, did he? Anyway, he's got a 30k army that he hasn't used yet, so we're going to play it.
Well, because I thought about getting into it just because I love the Imperial Fists, obviously, because Dawn's the best. What can I say?
Yeah.
And now that they brought out the model as well, it just looks sick. So the idea of getting him and maybe even Sigismund with like a nice little squad of...
I like the Sigismund model.
Yeah.
All the Forge World models are beautiful.
They're just brilliant,
for the characters.
So, if anybody from Forge World is listening, and they may just want to choke us a couple of Sakaran tanks or... maybe some other things like a Brogel Dawn model, or maybe even a Fulgrim model.
Yeah, I haven't bought one yet. I haven't bought, this is how crazy it is. The one model I didn't buy for my army was a Fulgrim model because, I grew up, my closest Games Workshop growing up with Warhammer World. So
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so that was great. I now live in Leeds, this is where we're recording this from. And so I wanted to make a special,
Don't tell everyone where we live, come on!
Well, Leeds is a big place, allegedly the 3rd biggest city in the country.
That's true.
I wanted to make a special privilege. So I wanted to practice painting on my other models. So I've got this new army pad down with how I paint them and how I'm happy. And then I wanted to make a special pilgrimage just to buy Fulgrim on his own. I thought Fulgrim deserved to be bought on his own. Not like Fulgrim and a couple of other models that I need for something else. Not Fulgrim in a paintbrush, just Fulgrim.
Yeah. He's expensive though, isn't he? He's like 70 quid.
Yeah, they're all quite expensive, beautiful models.
But they are amazing.
At some point, I was thinking about making because I haven't done much with them. I was thinking about making a chess set, it would be as in modelling a chessboard on.
Such an expensive endeavour.
Yeah, I'd have to try and sell it afterwards because it's so crazy the amount of money I'd have to spend. So, making a chessboard. I shouldn't say someone might copy it. Just making a chessboard based on Isfahan 5.
I love how you said, I'm probably going to tell everyone this, and then just proceeded to tell everyone.
You can do it if you want.
You can do whatever you want, mate.
Yeah, nobody's going to listen to it anyway, so it's fine.
Exactly, yeah.
What are the chances of someone who's actually got the time and energy and to do this that's going to listen to this?
Yeah, Mum.
That's it. Maybe my mum will come back and say, I only listened to the first 10 minutes of your podcast, but here's the chess set I made.
Yeah.
So it would be, like models, so I'd do terrain, like chess set, kind of style, and then all the different models would be different models from the Horus Heresy series, and then the Queen would be
Fulgrim,
obviously. Yeah, I mean, because you couldn't have the Queen, you couldn't have the King as Fulgrim because you want Fulgrim to be running around and battling. So the 2 queens would be Fulgrim and what's the guy with no head?
Ferris Manus.
Yeah. him on Isfan 5, so that would be really cool.
Oh, he's not really got the head for leadership these days, has he?
That's it.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of all the
Austin
powers.
It's not the way to get ahead in life.
And it'd be cool because then rightfully, the Iron Hands would obviously be the black pieces. So they'd be like the bad guys in chess.
Yeah, but you could do the white, but it'd be like porcelain white with purple.
Like the porcelain skin of Fulgrim.
Yeah. The China doll he is.
Yeah. and then, I think it's funny actually, are they kind of black and white? I always thought that like the, chess was like kind of the ones that go second were the ones that you didn't want as much, and almost like the kind of, bad guys, and then the good guys. I don't think
I've ever heard that.
I don't know, yeah, I've just realised that. I don't think whether that's in my brain or not.
I think you're just making stuff up.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
Anyway, cause they're kind of, anyway. And then have all pieces. So like I was thinking of doing, the rooks as contempted dreadnoughts. This is why it'd be so expensive.
It'd be so expensive, mate. I mean, I love the idea, don't get me wrong. Yeah. The idea is great, but I think I told you this before. You're looking at about £1,000.
I reckon it'd be, it'd probably be somewhere between £500 and £1,000.
And I mean, this is
because you've got 4 characters. Because the thing, I think the only way you'd be able to do it is have the king would be Horus, and then you would have Ferrus Manus as the queen on the other side,
and then the emperor.
And the king. Well, I don't think you could do the emperor, partly because they haven't got a model yet, partly because he wasn't there. So I was thinking maybe you could do Vulcan, perhaps as a more level-headed one on that side.
Yeah, rather than.
That's the only model that wouldn't quite work. Like having Horus there makes sense.
But yeah, because Korax wouldn't work either, because he's psychotic when he gets into battle. From what I've read.
Yeah, and they're not as the kind of he's always kind of set slightly off. He's always doing his own thing because that's how they work. They're kind of often quite detached in the way they fight. Whereas
true.
Vulcan.
You mean after they got wiped out?
Yeah, I mean, so this is pre them getting wiped out. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah, I love if there's just somebody going, "Oh man, I've just got to the book Fulgrim, and I'm really worried about these loyalist legions. Something just doesn't feel right."
Yeah.
But I mean, let's just talk about that. I mean, that is all joking aside, that is a pretty ballsy move.
From who?
Well, from both, let's be honest. I mean, the fact that you're just going to go in there with 3 initially. Yeah. Because, I mean, from my point of view, being a strategist, I would go, I'm just going to wait till I've got maximum force. So I go, right, I'm not going to wait. Yeah, but then the classic line, which I love from Fulgrim, is the bit where it's Ferrus Manus, Korax and Vulcan just discussing what's going to go on, and then he goes, Ferrus, when Ferrus gets super angry about the fact that his brother's betrayed him.
So we've listened to them on audio, so that's just to
the
stay.
Difference.
So we haven't read them, we've listened to them on audio because we're lazy. And so the accents are fantastic.
They are amazing. But the best one is John Grammaticus by far.
Yeah.
John Grammaticus.
The American guy, US guy.
The only American in it. Yeah. That's what I don't get.
Ran out of,
You're the only American. What is this all about? Yeah. But yeah, I think just going back to that kind of ballsiness of just going, I'm gonna use, but I think it's the fact that Horus just knows the Primarch so well, and he knows the fact that Ferrus is super hot-headed, and he's just going to charge in there, which is why he sends Fulgrim to do the whole kind of trying to get him onto their side anyway. Yeah. And the fact that it just doesn't work just goes to show that that's it, mate. You know? You just see you later. Yeah. What can you say? And I think it just works really well having those 3 go, and then just all the others just turning up, just Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, Jess Guard, just coming up and going, cool, yeah, we'll take over now. Yeah. And just absolutely wasting what's left. Yeah. It's a truly brutal, because I mean the battle beforehand, with the way that they describe it, which is really good actually in the book, of just, yeah, because it's
it's on 5 still.
Yeah. And I think just in Fulgrim, it's the first real, because Isfan 3 is good, but obviously it's kind of
if you're talking about favourite moments of the whole of Horus Heresy, my favourite moments on Isfan 3, we'll come back to that in a moment. I reckon.
Let's come back to that. But I think just with Isfan 5, just the way that it describes, there's no hiding anymore, which I think is Isfan 3. It's kind of like there's obviously the surprise attack kind of side of it. Whereas this is generally one legion against another, but they both know that this isn't going to end well. And either one side's going to win, which we all know who it is, or the other side's going to win. and it just goes horribly, horribly wrong.
Yeah. Well, I guess they think they can't lose the loyalists because they've got so many. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
7 legions to smash 3 legions.
Plus the Imperial Fists, which are supposed to be on the way.
Yeah.
So they obviously don't make it there.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Means they get to stick around to the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but their fleet does not fail.
Oh, no, the fleet does not do
Maybe,
well.
I don't know if you read that bit or not.
I read that one, yeah. But they were winning, just going to point out, they were winning until they got the message through.
Was that against Perturabo?
I think it's Perturabo.
It was a stupid retreat, it was a stupid retreat.
I think so as well, but then, I mean, when you get a message from Rogal Dawn, you just got to do it, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I would... Yeah, I maybe would have waited just a few hours.
I would have waited, yeah. Personally, I would have waited, but
there you go.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes.
So what was good? So we'll go back to favourite moments in a moment. I suppose what we were doing at the beginning was talking about our armies and which armies we collect.
Oh, yeah.
To try and give us the listeners a taste of where we're at, which is basically traitor and
loyalist, really.
Yeah. So I technically did a corn arm, which I didn't use that much. And then I went away from the hobby for a few years, and obviously 40k is like smoking. You never really give it up. And,
that's a fair point.
That's it. That's what my granddad used to say anyway. I've never smoked, but
you have got a lot of 40k.
My granddad, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I went away, and I got back into it, and I wanted an army that I could do cheaply and quickly, and so I came back and not really thinking too much. I started doing Grey Knights.
So you picked Imperial Guard.
That's it. So
infantry the whole way.
So I picked Grey Knights because they were so expensive in point wise, and you just have a few models, but they're really cool.
And they're all psychos.
Yeah. And that was cool. But then I got a bit bored of them, so I started converting them, and I did some, quite cool early conversions because it was like when they brought the Dread Knight out.
That's what I mean. You can't just stick to the normal, can you?
It looks like a baby carrier. So, do you know like those things that you stick on?
It is a baby carrier.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, this looks ridiculous. So I converted it, and then I started converting. So then I went on to Sisters of Battle, and I was annoyed I'm still annoyed that they haven't done them. This is the one loyalist army that I'd definitely collect, would be Sisters of Battle or
Nuns with guns.
Sororitas. Yeah, they're great. And so I did an army of them, but I did them all Chaos. So I did Chaos Marine bodies and then Demonette heads. And so I made them, and then just converted so much. So converted the tanks and all kinds of things. I
mean, I just love the fact that somebody against Workshop decided to go, I really like French nuns.
Yeah.
And I really want to put them in this game. How can we do that?
Yeah.
And then the Sisters of Battle was born.
Sisters of Battle. Yeah, exactly. They've got a cool fluff history, actually. Maybe we'll talk about that at some point. And, then from them I didn't make anything new for a while. And then it was Zorachniel. This is what really, kind of made me fall. I saw the model of Zorachniel, and I just thought that's one of the coolest, 40k models I think there is, which is the Greater Demon of, Slanesh.
First of all, I think I'll just quickly say that I collected it as a teen, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then I've been away for about 10 years, and then I've just the same as you. Actually, it's since we've started hanging out, actually, isn't it? I just kind of went, I used to collect it, and actually it's still really cool.
Yeah.
And I think kind of coming back to it is nice.
I mean, it's not cool, but yeah, fair.
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right. And so kind of coming back to it, you can kind of appreciate it a little more, I think, isn't it? But the first match I had against you, you used that
against my, did I use Arachniel? Oh,
you did. You wiped me out.
I had 300 points less, I think. And it was Arachniel and I think a few squads of demonettes.
And a chariot.
And because of
But I didn't really know what I was doing.
No, and because of what Adam had, I thought he'll kill Zorachniel pretty quickly, it'll be fine. I think you might have done actually.
But I killed him, but I got quite lucky.
Oh, him. Oh, it's interesting. You don't really know.
Well, I killed the demon.
Yeah.
I got quite lucky with that. But then as soon as the two squads of, the hordes, not even squads of demonettes came in, I think actually I would have won in the end because I think that's it. I had my Terminators with Storm Shields and Thunders.
Oh, possibly. I think it ended on the, random game length and it ended early maybe.
Because we were going to we got to number 5 and I was still smashing them. And then if it had gone one more, I would have won. Yeah, but we didn't. Right. We didn't. The dice roll wasn't with me.
Yeah,
which is not unusual.
Yeah, but then everyone who loses always blames on dice rolls. And if that's true, you listeners out there, you know it. So I saw Dracna and I thought, she's really cool. I see it because the old Oss, these Slaanesh, she who thirsts. So I tend to see the models as more female than male, but
they tend to be Slaanesh especially, I think.
They should make them more. Dracnyl's quite androgynous, actually. I think that all the models should be a bit more androgynous. I think that'd be more fun. And they should do models based not just around because it's all about hedonism and not just about the kind of physical hedonism of sex and attraction and lust.
Yeah, but it's just easy to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But there's so much more. There's a cool short story in the Demon Codex about a knight that goes to try and slay Slaanesh and goes through all the realms of Slaanesh's kind of queendom, and kind of gets through them.
Gets to the end,
and there's so many different ideas that you can pull out of that to make models out of, but they just go for the sex and boobs, which is, and then they shy away from it when they realise how many kind of 10-year-olds play their game.
Yeah, it's just quite a male-dominated hobby.
It is,
let's be honest.
Yeah.
But there are more females, which is really great, actually, I think, and it's becoming a bit more wider known, which is really good.
Yeah.
That passes that little feminism one off.
So
I think kind of, so like I said, I was Blood Angels, and then now well, they're not successors, because the successors I realised was actually only the ones that split from the original legions.
Yeah.
But it's like a 35th founding that can root their way back to what they're called the Swords of Dawn. So that's mine. So they're Imperial Fists.
And they are the gene seed of Rogel Dawn.
Rogel Dawn.
Good old Rogel.
Good old Rogue.
So it's interesting. So Adam's doing his own chapter. And so I wanted to kind of do a loyalist chapter because I wanted access to someone so I really like the Sisters of Silence. I think they're really interesting and cool. Although I don't like the rules the way they work now in the 8th edition, but, and I like the kind of, Inquisition and Sisters of Battle. And I'm kind of just preparing myself for when they eventually release Plastic Sisters, which will be never.
It's never gonna happen.
It's
never gonna happen.
So in the meantime, I did finally do a loyalist army, and I couldn't bring myself to do a loyalist army because nothing excited me about the loyalists at all. And then I've clearly just influenced you enough to see the light. What did it was, I
Our unending friendship.
read about the cursed founding, or the 41st founding, which I think I might be wrong about that. I might have to go back and check the fluff. But it's basically the founding where someone took loads of gene seeds from the fallen Primox and made loads of new chapters. Yeah. Some of them which failed horrendously, and some of them which succeeded. So the ones that look like Spartans, I can't remember what they're called.
The Minotaurs.
Yeah, and then there's the ones in what are they called? The Ravens?
Blood Ravens.
Blood Ravens, there you go. In the 40k there.
There's talk that they are 1,000 Suns.
Yeah.
One, because they have a significantly higher amount of psychers.
Yeah.
But whether or not that's just something that's been kind of banded around, I think, on a few forums. But it's a really interesting idea that it's kind of coming from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of, I think, taking it back to the actual thing that we're supposed to be talking about, which is Horus Heresy.
Oh, we're giving ourselves an idea of who we play. So my final army is, which I've done recently, so basically a loyalist force based upon the genes of Fulgrim.
Shocker.
So then that made me really excited. I was like, I collect loyalists because they're vaguely something to do with Fulgrim, who I love and adore.
And what are they called?
They're called the Phoenicians.
That's right.
Which,
and what are the colours?
Purple with yellow arm pads.
Oh,
the yellow's my favourite colour.
What a shocker.
Yeah. Oh. So I do have a lot of purple armies. Somebody,
you just have mauve everywhere.
Did you, well, I'm colourblind as well, so I don't really understand what mauve is. But, somebody said, did you buy a job lot of purple paint, or did you get loads free or something like that? I've got a lot of purple paint.
You go to Costco.
Yeah, but I'm now, Adam for Christmas bought me a Imperial Guard tank.
I did.
A Lehman Russ, which was cool. And I just thought, well, what am I going to do with this? Because, I don't collect.
Yeah. And you bought me a Crisp High 5.
Yeah, what?
For Christmas. No, actually, no. Dan was very, very generous and bought me, the picture of, the last Imperial Fist from the book series, The Beast Arises.
Yeah.
So anybody who's read that will know it's, Slaughter, who becomes the last Imperial Fist alive.
Spoilers.
Shocking. Sorry if anybody hasn't read that.
I haven't.
They're still around, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But in classic 30, 40k, everyone just dies.
I did want to buy him so I've got the Fulgrim, canvas.
Oh, the remembrance.
So they've done all the canvases of the Primarchs, and you can buy them from Warhammer World. But they only did a certain amount, so I couldn't get the Rogel Dawn one, sadly, because it's sold out.
Why? I wonder why.
Well, I think it's sold out long after Fulgrim, I imagine. But lots of them are sold out now. So I've got the Fulgrim. So I wanted to buy Adam the Rogel Dawn one.
I really hope they do it again.
Yeah.
Because I would love to buy one of those.
Yeah. So that's cool. And then that's my final army. So I'm going to do this Imperial Guard tank. And then I thought, I could do the Phoenician Guard.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing like kind of some, Imperial, not called Astra Militarum.
Astra Militarum now.
I still haven't got my head around that.
I think everyone still calls them Imperial Guard.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it's supposed to be Adeptus Astartes, but everyone just calls them Space Marines.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously that draws the 13-year-olds in. But I think Adeptus, Astartes is much cooler.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
It's interesting how some people refer to them as Space Marines or sometimes Astartes in the 30k books as well, actually.
Well, I think they've just started to do it, so it all kind of ties in.
Yeah, there is a nuance of difference, actually, within the fluff. Space Marines is a legitimate thing within 40 and 30k, as is the Astartes. They do mean slightly different things, I think. But I can't
really?
I can't remember how it works. They're both legitimate things to call. They are both called the Space
Well, I
Marines.
think I think Space Marines call other Space Marines Astartes, whereas everyone else just calls them Space Marines.
Yeah, maybe so.
Because the Imperial Guard are always like, Space Marine.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little bit annoyed about, the fact that they've made
always like working
class cockneys, essentially, from...
Yeah. Well, it does feel like the Astartes are all like kind of officer class. Because they all tend to talk quite poshly. And
that's
then
a really good point.
Cannon fodder all got working class accents and swear and fart.
Except for the sergeants. Have you noticed the sergeants of the Astartes are all like rough.
And again, this all comes from the audiobooks, because obviously you don't read accents. But so in the audiobooks they all put on really kind of northern working class, accents. They all sound like me. Except I'm not northern, I'm from the Midlands.
Yeah, you are.
But my vowel sounds
That's
correct.
Obvious. Yeah. So I think, that's a good way to kind of tie it on. Because the thing is, I remember reading the first book, Horus Rising.
Yeah.
And was just really, really enthused by it and just really, really excited about.
Yeah.
I think because the first three for me are still up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there are others. So, for example, 1,000 Suns is a really good book.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think the great thing about what they've done, which is, I think they're on like book 50 or something now, is it?
No idea.
In the series.
Yeah, I don't know if does that include the small ones or not? Because I know there's loads of little
ones. On the reading order on the website, it says, we're gonna, if you read it in order, it includes all of the other ones. So
I think it's way more than 50 then. Because I've read about 30.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah, you're probably right then. But I think the great thing is about the first three is it just sets everything up really nicely. And then the others just obviously go into depth with certain chapters. So I think actually, no, the first ones I read were the two Dark Angels ones.
So Adam was writing a book which had the Dark Angel. I said, you probably want to read these because it gives you loads of fluff. They're really boring. I found them really interesting. Lots of people slag them off for being boring because it's just...
No, I can see where people are coming from.
Yeah.
Because the first one, which I think is book 6 or 7 in the series, is... Well, I think for the first like 2/3 of the book, it's not even anything to do with the Imperium or the Emperor or Space Marines at all.
No.
It's just, well, this is the thing, because I know what happens to Nemiel and his brother. Yeah, so I'm really annoyed about that, and that's putting it mildly, for the PG of YouTube. But I was really annoyed by what happens to them, but I think it's interesting if you want to know about the Dark Angels kind of backstory and history. But it's not relevant at all to advancing the story. But it is still really interesting. But I think if you're just in it for the story, you're not going to find it, and that's okay. But I think it's just being aware of that.
I like them because of the fluff it told you about the Dark Angels.
That's
another army I did. I've done, because I wanted to do all Storm Shields and Thunderhammers. I did Dark Angels army, which are painted in black. So they're like kind of...
It's all melee. All of your forces just insane.
Well, it's these because I think it started with Tau and then I just kind of over-consumed shooty army and then I went crazy close combat.
Yeah.
And God, though, that's another thing. So I'm probably so Adam bought me one tank and I was thinking, what am I going to do with this? And now I'm thinking, I might get a Baneblade. So that's where this has gone.
Well, I've told you, you can get 3 in a squad. So you might as well go all on.
Yeah, that's it. That might happen.
How many points is that? 6,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not good for
yeah,
objective.
So I think the first three are amazing because it kind of obviously tells you about the Lunar Wolves who become the sons of Horus.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice setting up in the fact that you go, I have no idea what the Horus Heresy is about. Oh, this is all about the Sons of Horus in the first three books.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think all three of them together are really good. And I think just the combination and the way it leads you into this world. Because I think if you came into 40k not knowing absolutely anything about it, that's a really good place to start.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody knows the story of, we've had this massive galactic civil war. It's called the Horus Heresy. But I think obviously when they started that, before they started writing the books and actually fleshing out the characters and the Primarchs and all that kind of stuff, it was just like, oh, well, it's this backstory that we need to set up the 40,000 universe.
Yeah.
But I think it's really great that they've gone back to it and now have just really fleshed out the characters because you really do feel for certain Primarchs over others. Mainly, I don't care about Fulgrim for obvious reasons, but you know, I think because you can kind of see with Horus, it's like, well, he's the. You can see why he's the head guy and the reason why he becomes War Master, but then it's this whole thing of them just getting completely manipulated.
Yeah,
but it just working so well within the whole kind of sphere, and then it just being this idea of like, well, all the Chaos Gods want their own Primarch, so they all just go after one Primarch, which I thought was just really great, you know. And just, it's a really good, I think the character's really great. Garviel Loken, this is my theory anyway about him, but I think he's going to be the soldier, or, well, the Praetorian, whatever it is, the Adeptus Custodes, who is in between Horus and the Emperor on the Vengeful Spirit at the end. Because they talk about this one person who steps between the two of them, and it pauses the fight essentially where Horus is about to kill the Emperor, and it gives him the time to kind of see what Horus has truly become. And I think, but the soldier dies, and I think who that is Garviel Loken. But that's my own theory. I don't know if that's how it's going to go out, but I feel like he's such a good character, and I think that's where he's going to die. He's going to become like that guy who kind of swears he's going to, because he's one of the guys who is like adores Horus, and Horus loves him. But he's the one who, out of all of the Mournival, decides I'm not going to do this. You know, him and Torgadon, who's a great character.
He's so funny.
Torgadon's a fantastic character. And
he's great.
Who dies before his time, personally.
I mean, just for comic reasons, we should have kept him in.
Totally. You need a bit of comedy in this world, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can't all be going around on expeditionary fleets, taking planet after planet.
Genocide after genocide.
Exactly.
Well, let's have some comic relief.
Let's have some fun. Come on, let's do a bit of, there's got to be a couple of planets which are like tropical paradises. Let's,
Yeah, Riser.
Exactly. Let's do this, They're not all grim Forge worlds. So I think that's what's really great about it. And I think within that you get the Span 3 atrocity, which is such a great, from a military point of view, of going, I don't trust about a third of my legion. Because they're all Terran-born guys. And I like the fact that each legion, I suppose is probably the best way to put it, has a core of Terran units and guys that were all raised and were the originals for each legion. And then obviously every time a Primarch gets found, they have a huge intake from their own planet. But I just think it's really, really cool. But then it's this idea of just going, we just don't like them. And we can't trust them. So send them down to a planet and then we'll virus bomb it. Just insane.
Which actually was where my favourite, kind of talking about the question near the beginning, was what's your favourite kind of moment in the Horus Heresy? Mine so far was, there's a great bit. It's in, it must be one of the first three actually, I suppose. I can't remember. So it's a bit that kind of, catalogues Isfan 3 and what happened there.
Galaxy in Flames.
Possibly. And so my favourite character in the series is Lucius of the Emperor's Children. He's like, I love him more than Fulgrim, more than Targadon. Lucius, such a great character. I adore him so much. And, it's the bit where, so basically,
I hate that guy. I'm just going to point this out there now. I mean, I generally hate the Emperor's Children. Massively so. But that guy, and then the fact that you find out that he's now called Lucius the Eternal, which basically means he can never die, is just so infuriating.
You just got to kill him and not take any pleasure in it.
Yeah, but you're not going to do that because he's going to antagonise you to the point where you go, I really enjoyed killing this guy.
No, it's great.
That's the thing. That's what he works.
What a legend. And so my favourite bit is when he wants to. So he's sent down to the planet because they don't
trust him. Yeah.
And he decides he wants to rejoin the Legion when kind of he works out what's going on. So he's sent with 20 other guys to kind of defend part of
it's such a horrible moment. I'm remembering it now. This is so bad.
It's so good. It's my favourite moment. And
that's the difference between me and you, isn't it? So you find this hilarious. I find this the worst tragedy ever.
Yeah. And so basically, like kind of whoever, I can't even remember the guy who's in charge down there.
Saul Tarvis.
Is it Tarvis? Oh, is that how he dies?
No, because you don't know if he's dead yet.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because they have the fight.
Yeah.
And he stabs him.
Oh, yeah?
And then that's when,
I thought he told you he dies.
No, because it's where the recruits come. Because, he's like, I've seen some guys come in, come and support me.
Yeah.
So the loyal Emperor's children come over.
Yeah.
And then he sees, what's happened, which is basically, Lucius has decided to kill 20 guys.
Well, he does it in a great way because basically he's there with 20 guys, and if it's Tarvis comes over and he's just like, Lucius is under attack, so then he helps him kill these kind of Astartes, these what look like traitor Astartes, and then just as they're finishing off the last ones, he realises, he's like, what happened to the 20 Astartes that I sent with Lucius? And he looks around and sees like 20 dead bodies.
Yeah.
And then Lucius stabs him. And to get him to kill 20 of his own men, thinking his and then Lucius killing him and just getting, by the way, I'm rejoining the Legion, see you later, is my favourite. It's so funny.
The thing with that though, is I think, there's a part of me which goes, like, surely, Saul Tarvis will go, oh man, these guys are attacking him, I don't know what's going on. But one of those guys who's fighting Lucius will go, we're on your side, this guy's gone mental. Instead of just going, just keep fighting.
Maybe, that's probably true. Maybe they just kill them so quickly.
Well, that's true. Yeah, he doesn't say how quick they do it.
Or maybe they could have thought that, he was with them, that Saul was with Lucius. Because if he runs up and starts attacking them,
that's true.
Maybe they thought Lucius. I mean, it never doesn't say any of this in the book, but they could have thought, this guy is also on Lucius's side or whatever.
Yeah, it could be. So I think there's an element of that is just both horrible and tragic, but also quite
the Lucius thing.
Yeah, it's just. Well, it's the fact that obviously he's just really jealous of Saul Tarvis because Tarvis. The thing is, I love about Tarvis because you find out obviously more about him through the other novels as you go along. But the fact that Tarvis just doesn't care about leadership, he doesn't care about advancing in the Legion. He just cares about doing a good job. And that's why I really like him because he's just like he's really loyal, he's dutiful. He's quite humble. All of the virtues that you want in a human being. Well, you just go, nah, like the other guy.
I do like him. There's lots. So this is the thing. So listening, I have a lot of. It's really interesting listening through because I can't help but like, particularly all the Primarchs. There's not many Primarchs that I don't like, kind of feel something for or like. Even after reading I read Betrayer recently, and obviously that talks about Angron. Angron.
Yep.
Angry Ron.
Angry Ron.
Angry Ron.
What a ledge.
And even Angry Ron, I kind of quite like and admire after and kind of feel for after reading that novel.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel for him a little bit, but then I kind of realised what he does, and you kind of go, I don't kind of like you that much anymore.
So I do, and I particularly I really like Vulcan as well, and because he's very much
Vulcan's very cool,
like a man of the people, man of the humans specifically, or
at
least he tries to be.
He kind of feels like he's the one who should be doing everything because. Well, he just looks after the human beings, and that's kind of what the Astartes are supposed to be doing anyway.
Yeah.
But because it seems to be from what I've read, I don't know if this is wrong, but the whole kind of augmentation and when they become who they are, they kind of just lose their humanity essentially, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think when they do that, they just go, I don't really care about you because you're a peasant and you're going to die really easily.
Yeah.
Which is why none of them have any respect for the Astra Militarum.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you've got a lifespan of 70 years or whatever, why me as an immortal being, why should I care about you when there's billions of you?
There's
billions upon billions of you.
And I could live to at least 1,000.
And I don't know how long I'm going to live for. Yeah. Like, why should I care about your meaningless life? I mean, that's kind of I think that's just intrinsically the attitude.
Completely. And I think it's only because he kind of, makes it a priority to look after people. That his Legion are kind of just well liked. I mean, I think they talk about in the Third War of Armageddon, they're the ones who stay the longest, and they're the first to arrive, and they're the ones who protect the civilians in the hive cities and all that kind of stuff. And then the Black Templars come along and just destroy everything because they're psychopaths. And then move on. And just go, you're on crusade. That's how we get around with having 6,000 aside.
Yeah, exactly.
Constantly on crusade, whatever. But yeah, so I think that's an amazing point within it, is just these Fan 3 atrocities. But it's the double whammy, isn't it? Because you have the internal where they're just cleansing their own ranks. Which is the Emperor's Children, Word Bearers and Sons of Horus are the initial 3.
No, so it's the Death Guard. The Word Bearers are really interesting. So, the Word Bearers, cleanse their Legion by sending the ones they don't trust to,
No, it's all 4 actually, isn't it?
Yeah. But the Word Bearers send so they have a really cool and interesting way of cleansing their Legion. And that's the, Calth. They send them all to Calth because they think everyone we send to Calth is going to die. Like, they're going to do huge damage to the Ultramarines, but they're all going to die. So basically,
that's a pretty terrible book. It's terrible.
It's really good. It's
no. It's interesting, but I think it's more just the kind of, oh my days, this is a terrible amount of damage that's been happened here. My days.
I mean, when you get super heavy tanks raining from the sky.
I think, and the fact that they send that ship into the spaceport above Calth, and it just happened so quick that.
So what's that? Is that they shall know no fear? That book is
no fear.
No fear, which is really good.
It is really good. But then I kind of also felt it was like, okay, I'm done with the battles because every single chapter is just another battle, and I know that's the way it's been set up. And
well, most of them I get annoyed if there's too much battling in. I know it's like about war and battles, but what you really want is a bit of to and fro between Primox, particularly.
Well,
really
you want to know about the characters in it because obviously the whole point of 40k is it's battle after battle after battle because
I don't really want
war is
that
unending. And you kind of in the books, you want to know about these incredible hyperhumans.
Like Lucius the Legend.
Is that Lucius the Fool? Who's
Lucius the Eternal. So what's your?
I'm not going to swear.
What's your favourite moment in the Horus Heresy that we read? So so I'm just reading Vulcan Lives. Spoilers.
Oh, you on there already?
So I'm on Vulcan Lives, and Adam's not far behind me. So we're about halfway through.
Vulcan inebriated for a while. Now he's back. Because I'm on the greatest book of all.
Oh yeah, this is great. I was so looking forward to Adam getting to this book.
I'm on Angel Exterminatus,
which is a delightful frolic.
It's like putting, well, being an Imperial Fist fan and, loyalist, suffer no Aryan warriors to live. That just goes without saying, mate. All right. But I think just the, just the craziness of going, it's the post Isfan in Emperor's Children and Fulgrim. And if you've read Reflection Craps, you'll know about the whole kind of him being taken over by a demon and then him kind of defeating it and this kind of weird Dorian Gray moment. And then
completely. Fulgrim is just basically like massively ripping off.
But
Dorian
they all are.
Gray.
They all are. I mean, Space Wolves. That's Vikings.
I
mean,
it's almost it's kind of okay, like ripping off a kind of an ancient culture in that way. But it's like you're ripping off a novel that was written relatively recently.
Yeah, like 1890s. But so then it's them, and I mean.
It's still a great book, though.
No, don't get me wrong.
That's Fulgrim, by the way, or Dorian Gray. But it is interesting. So Adam's got to one of the best bits where Fulgrim has a kind of a theatre made for him so he can tell a story.
It's just this amazing thing of going, it's just the way that the guy describes it and going, this, if it was anybody else, if it wasn't the Iron Warriors, this would probably take like 4 or 5 months to do. And they do it in a day.
It's great.
He works them so hard, they just do it in a day.
Just because Fulgrim wants to tell a story.
Just because he wants to tell the story.
Good story. And, but what that taught me about the Emperor's Children and me is that I do have a line, because I won't say much more because, Adam hasn't got quite there yet. But there's stuff that Fabius does, where I'm just like, I think, I've drawn a line there, I'm not, and
this guy.
That's a little bit too much even for me was Fabius.
Oh, he's terrible, mate. I'm just not a fan. I just don't like this guy, and I don't well, I mean, I don't really like any of the Emperor's Children, like we've talked about.
Fabulous Barry,
Angry Ron. But I think this book, it's just kind of, I hate the Iron Warriors, right, for obvious reasons. Being or as my friend at work calls him, Puerto Rico, because he can't say his name right. I'm like, Perturbo's not hard, fella. Yeah. Because he's the one who did the Primarch test.
Came out
Perturbo.
Peter Turbo.
Yeah, Peter Turbo. I think even in that book, because it's got the Emperor's Children and everything that's going on, even I have sympathy for the Iron Warriors, having to deal with that fella. Yeah. My days. I mean, I think it is literally, you either love Fulgrim or you hate him.
I love him. I do.
He's infuriating. He's just infuriating. No, I'm not going to
But even I have sympathy for Perturbo in that book and the Iron Warriors. But I still adore the Emperor's Children.
I think I'm really enjoying kind of knowing him more, if that makes sense. So kind of knowing more about him as a person and kind of how that all works.
Fulgrim or
Pete.
Pete, yeah.
Just going Pete for Puerto Rico.
PT.
Yeah, like I'm enjoying kind of knowing more about him, which is really good. But I think it's more what he has to deal with all the time. It's just flipping heck, mate. It's just this guy coming up out of nowhere. And just even the entrance is just ridiculous, where he just turns up with this massive parade of people for no real reason.
Because why wouldn't you?
Because why would you need to?
This is the thing, if you, this is like you go through life and you have some flair and, kind of really put effort into kind of enjoying yourself and stuff like that.
And you miff off every other Primarch that ever knows you. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Everyone hates your Legion.
Well, you got on really well with Ferris until
he decapitated him.
Yeah. They got on well, and they were really different to each other.
Yeah, but they're not, though, because they're both kind of like perfection. That's the thing that works with them too, I think, anyway. And obviously they like weapons, and they make each other weapons, so it kind of works.
That's true.
Whereas, saying that, I mean, when you come to, like, for example, Thousand Suns, which I think is another, I don't know if it's my favourite part, but I think I really enjoyed the burning of Prospero.
Yeah.
And that makes me sound like an arsonist.
Yeah.
But I think I always see it from the Space Force point of view.
Are we gonna do this conversation? How long have we got left? How long have we been going for? Maybe this should be a separate podcast.
We're going 55 minutes nearly, mate. So it's up to you.
Maybe we'll have the burning of Prospero conversation just to bring it to a close. Yeah. So yeah, if you say this is your favourite moment, then we've answered all the questions we started with.
This is what I'm saying. So it's not my favourite moment. I think probably my favourite moment is Fan 3, mainly because it's from Garviel Loken and Tor Gaden and Saul Tarvitz's point of view, which I really, really like. I think, do you have a favourite book, actually, that you've read throughout the actual reading order?
Do you know what? I think it's probably Fulgrim, and sure, like, obviously my loyalties and enjoyment, I enjoy the Emperor's Children. Whenever Fulgrim's mentioned, I'm really excited, because I just find him to be such a brilliant character. And so to have a book based around him, I think is really, really interesting. I like the way he falls. I think it's well written. I think it's one of the better written books as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's a very well written book. Yeah. And I think it has some really good lines and some good dialogue in it.
Yeah, that's because it was originally written by Oscar Wilde.
Yes, exactly. Wow, we could really use this. So do we own the rights to this? No, probably not. He's been dead for years.
Yeah, he's not going to complain.
Exactly. But I think there's an element for me from Thousand Suns, which is really good, because you see that as a book. I mean, not just the whole kind of burning of Prospero, but I think it's really cool because you see this Legion which are just really interested in kind of esoteric arts and obviously the psychic and the warp side of things, which is really cool. But I think obviously the way that they go about things is not well liked by the others, and obviously has major problems. And I think it's just cool because I think that was the first book I remember reading about the Wolf King, about Leman Russ, and just the way he is described in that book is absolutely fantastic, of just this raw kind of almost controlled malice, which is just, one simple thing and it's gone and that's it. He's just going to tear the place apart.
Yeah.
I think there's something really cool about that as a character and as an interesting kind of other side of it. And I think the fact that he's just so hardcore, head on, I'm going to take my Legion and we're just going to keep going, but we're going to have such ferocity in what we do. We're just going to kill everything.
Yeah, it's like a controlled version of the World Eaters.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas obviously kind of Magnus is all about kind of using your brain, essentially.
Yeah. He had libraries and stuff. He was cataloguing things. He wanted to learn about stuff.
Exactly. Well, no. He's got pyramids, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
And I think, you kind of got that kind of element. So I think also the fact it was Martin Ellis who narrated the book, and I think he does Horus Rising actually as well. He's the first guy. I think he's kind of voice in the way he actually narrates it is really good, and he's the one who always grabs my attention when he reads it. And I just love the way he says Magnus in the book when he's describing the Emperor, which I think is really well done. I think there's still so many books to go. No Fear was good. I think mainly because I like Rabute Gilliman as well. I think he's quite cool. I mean, if you love Imperial Rome, he's your man, really, isn't he? Let's be honest. They've just taken him and just gone, cool. I'm quite interested to see the book about the White Scars. I can't remember the name. Yeah. But I think that's coming up. That looks really interesting.
Yeah. We haven't heard much from the White Scars yet as far through as we are.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Other than there was one of the side books where the Alpha Legion are there while the White Scars are fighting orcs, and the Alpha Legion kind of like bring the orcs together in packs and stuff like that. So it takes the White Scars ages.
Takes them longer to do it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Well, the only thing I remember hearing about them was actually when the Dark Angels come. I think that's in the second book, where they go to take this planet.
Oh, the second Dark Angels book.
Yeah, and then it all goes wrong, and they end up having to like liquidate the planet or something. But it's the White Scars they take over from.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I can't remember it. Because I was just thinking, can't wait to see Caliban blow up, and it's just like, I was nowhere near that. I'm not even sure when that happens, actually.
At least of the two books.
But I was just thinking, I assume that's where we were going with the second. I thought there's two Dark Angels books. Surely by the end of the second, we're going to be like a Caliban blown to pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nowhere near.
I mean, you've only just got to the end of that second one. You've only just got to the bit where Lucian has decided to just go, cool. Not Lucian, Lucius. Luther. That's it. Where he's decided to go, cool, I'm just going to rebel.
Yeah.
I'm going to take everyone with me. Yeah. So I think that's an interesting one. Trying to think, I'm quite looking forward to one, like I said, Angel Exterminators, to kind of, the whole of that I think is going to be really interesting. And I kind of know the ending anyway, but I think it's going to be really interesting to actually hear it. I think Angry Ron's going to be interesting in Betrayer.
Oh yeah, you're not got to Betrayer, have you? That's quite cool.
And that's also going to lead on
about the word eaters.
Yeah, because they hang out with the word bearers though, don't they, as well?
Yeah,
in that one. So I'm quite looking forward to Rabute coming back and trying to give Lorgar a bloody nose.
Yeah, there's a lot of love between Lorgar and Angry Ron. Yeah. Which is really, really interesting to read.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm really looking forward to, I don't know if they've got one out yet, is like a full book about the Night Lords. That's going to be really good. Because I think out of all of the Primarchs, Conrad Kurz is the most pitiful character.
I mean, I'm reading Vulcan Lives, and Conrad Kurz is quite a major character in that.
Yeah, he does some really bad stuff. No, but it's more kind of like, you kind of get snippets every now and again, but there's not like a full book.
Yeah.
So far, that as far as I'm aware in the reading order. I may be wrong on that one, and if I am, that's totally fine. But I'm really looking forward to kind of reading more about him, because I think he's the one who you just really feel for. Yeah. Because I think every other Primarch actually had a father figure growing up, or they were found by a society, whereas he wasn't at all.
Nor was Angron, I guess.
That's true, yeah. Angron was.
He did not turn out well, although that was a lot to do with
I think that might have to do with the rage issues he's got.
Well, yeah.
Too many steroids.
You found out in Betrayer why he has those rage issues.
Oh, I think I already know what that is, but too many steroids.
Implants.
Yeah, too many steroids. Yeah. The butcher's nails is a big thing about it, isn't it?
It's really interesting as well, actually.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting.
And a lot of love between Angron and his Legion. The kind of, trying to get it really interesting.
Yeah, so I think there is some really, I mean, is there any Primarchs that you don't really like?
That's an interesting question, because I just can't.
The two that are missing.
Yeah. I want to hear more about them.
So much silence on those guys.
I don't know. I kind of, because when I'm listening to the kind of audiobooks, I can't help but admire all the Primarchs. I can't think of. Interesting, and
they are really well written.
Yeah, Ferrys Manus, I think, and again, not just because I'm an Emperor's Children player. I think
mainly you are.
Yeah. But it's because I think I'd struggle with Ferrys Manus because he's so kind of quick, he's so quick to temper.
Very fiery.
Very
headstrong.
He needs to chill out a little bit, and he's yeah.
You ain't got a head, mate. You can't chill out.
Yeah, that's it.
Actually,
but I think I'm probably less interested in Ferrus. And
Well,
that's from an objective standpoint. That's not.
But
just
also,
from
there's not really that
objective.
much about him.
No.
But I think the reason why is because it's like you need a Primarch that just dies
Yeah.
to kind of start off the whole cycle. Because actually, most of them.
The Lion, I don't like the Lion very much.
Lionel Johnson, I don't like him.
Yeah, I just think he's a bit. Again, I've got some admiration for him, but I think probably he's one of my least favourites.
I just think he's a bit too short-sighted from what I've seen, and really arrogant, and thinks he should be the one who's running the Imperium.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's really
Which is
interesting.
definitely why he kind of was not...
About half the Primarchs think they should be like the War Master.
Yeah, but there's actually only 2 or 3 which actually could run it, which is why...
And
Rabute, which is obviously what's happened now in
would have been the
40K,
better choice.
Which would have been the better choice. Him, obviously Rogel Dawn, Horus, obviously. I'm trying to think if there's another one, really.
I don't think Rogel Dawn could do it, actually.
I think he could.
I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's got it within him to deal with the other Primarch. That's why
Horus
was picked, because they needed someone who could deal with the other Primarchs well.
Yeah.
And I think arguably Horus could probably do that better than Rabute.
You probably could, but I think Rabute would probably be my second choice.
I think. I mean, heresy aside.
Yeah.
So I bet maybe Horus would have been the best choice. I can get that, but if he didn't, try and kill his dad.
Might be a bit of a problem.
Plunge the galaxy into civil war. If he hadn't done that,
We'd be named the worst traitor in human history.
Yeah, that's it. The arch traitor Horus.
That's it. Yeah. Well, his Legion did alright out of it. They've had 13, possibly 14 Black Crusades coming up, And
Abaddon, totally original name, not ripped off from the Bible at all.
Well, it's Abaddon, isn't it, the way they say it? But I always thought it was Abaddon.
I think, that's those.
But it's weird because I think when you listen to the books, they always say it's Abaddon.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, maybe
Whereas I prefer Abaddon, personally.
Yeah, because he's Abaddon.
Because he's a Abaddon lad.
Yeah, I mean, maybe talk to somebody who is kind of fluent in Hebrew scriptures, and then we'll find out how it's meant to be pronounced.
I'll just get him on the phone.
No, actually, I tell that lie, because it's in Revelation, isn't it, Abaddon? So it'd be someone who's fluent in kind of Greek. Someone who's fluent in Greek.
Well, they've nicked something from everywhere. I mean, the White Scars, they're Mongols.
Yeah.
Essentially. I'm trying to think who else. Obviously, Ultramarines are basically Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Imperial Fists, I don't know who they are, actually. They're kind of whatever.
Bees.
Wordbearers are... Actually, they might not be the one.
Well, you do it from the alien races in 40k. It's like...
that's
the Tyranny is a completely original idea. Alien!
That's it. And then the Necrons are clearly just Terminators.
Yeah.
The thing is, they look like the Necron Warriors look so much like Terminators. It's ridiculous. Orcs, obviously, just taken from Tolkien's novels.
Tolkien, yeah. I mean, people forget. I think people think that like kind of orcs and elves and stuff like that somehow existed in history.
Been around forever, yeah.
But actually, they were Tolkien, and then everyone ripped it off to Tolkien.
Yeah.
Everyone's ripped them off though, so you can't blame 40k completely for that.
No,
that's
true.
The space elves in the Eldar. How's that society going for you? How's that civilization going for you, Eldar?
You see that a lot though in a lot of different things though, where it's like there's an ancient old race that is wiser than everyone else, but they're arrogant, and their arrogance has caused them to fail, and as a result of that, everyone's dying, and they're kind of fighting this long retreat as it's known, which is this kind of very pagan aspect of like you're defeated, but you're going to keep fighting until you're totally defeated. You've got that. The Tower, obviously, kind of an Asian,
kind of Eastern
technologically advanced kind of alien race, blended with communism, and fish.
Yeah.
Trap. It's like, that's it.
That's it.
Damocles Golf. And then, so I think, they have ripped off a lot of stuff. And then obviously the Astra Militarum.
Humans. I see people around everywhere who look like the Astra Militarum.
I can't believe they've done that. I can't believe they've ripped off humanity in such a way, but
I think Astartes are probably their original kind of thing that they've come up with. I don't think that's ripped off anything.
Yeah, like the whole...
I mean, superhuman soldiers... Okay, that's not super original, but I think the way they've done the
gene seed thing is that.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
I mean, obviously the Roman Empire, obviously most of it's ripped off the Roman Empire, but, the gene seed and a lot of stuff,
What isn't, mate?
That's it.
No, I think so that's very good. I think, there's the Dark Angels are like monastic military society, so that's like I think Black Templars. They're basically just a Crusader knights, essentially.
Yeah.
Crimson Fists are nobody because nobody cares about them.
Yeah, that's it.
And then, so I think the thing is with the Astra Militarum that I always find is I know you said they were kind of based on the Imperial Napoleonic era.
Well, no, not the Astra Militarum, as in the 40k rules were. So this is really interesting. The 40k rules were totally, so the guys who came up with it were really into their kind of Napoleon era war games. And with the Napoleon era war games, you shoot your rifles once, maybe twice, and then you charge them with your bayonets. And that's how it worked.
Hey, so you know what they need? Richard Sharp.
Yeah, that's it.
Who they need.
You do 3 times in a minute,
exactly. In any weather.
Yeah, that's it. And so that was the idea. So that's why you've got these kind of bolt guns, which can clearly fire more than one shot, but they all fire one shot and then charge. Because they're based on, it's like the Napoleonic Wars in the future. So the basis of the game was the Napoleonic Wars.
Because I think I've said it to you before, but I think the Astra Militarum just remind me of the Soviet Union.
Oh yeah.
Mass tank infantry. Yeah. Infantry are nothing. They don't really matter.
Yeah.
Huge amounts of firepower from the tanks. Enormous amounts of high caliber artillery that will just pound the crap out of everything.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff and just charging forward, you know. The fact that they have the variations as well, so you have like is it the Voidstrom or whatever, which are like these kind of Russian kind of people.
Yeah. If you look back, if you go onto the Games Workshop website and look through the old models that are still there,
oh
it's amazing.
My gosh! I mean, the Pretoria, which is basically just the British redcoats. I mean, come on. I mean, how do you even get away with that?
I just reckon they made too many of them in like the early 90s, and then
must have been.
This is why they're still on this, because I can't see them making many anymore. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean, maybe I don't know. It's just kind of just one of those things, I suppose, isn't it? Where you just go, we can do whatever we want, so we're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
But so I think that's really, and then obviously, Sisters of Silence. They're probably quite unique, actually.
Yeah.
Sisters of Silence and Adeptus
Custodes.
That's the one.
Cool,
yeah, they're quite cool. So I mean, I think it's just great as a whole series. The thing that annoys me is that why are more people not into it? Because it's such a massive, vast thing that there's something for everyone.
Because that's what I mean. You either get a mortgage, a car, and a dog, or you spend all that money on 40k. That's why.
It's one or the other. Yeah. It really is. I mean, I've been eating baked beans for 4 years, mainly because I've just keep buying drop pods.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking about buying a drop pod.
I was thinking about buying one, and they were annoying to make and paint. But I was thinking about buying, and you can make a plastic flower. They look like kind of a tulip when you're halfway through making them. There's a point where when you don't have the struts on, I was like thinking I can make loads of plastic drop pod tulips. They'd be quite expensive.
It might be, yeah. Might be a market though.
Yeah,
might be a market.
It could be.
So I think it's really cool. It's just, and I think I like the fact that from a game point of view, you can still use 30k stuff in 40k.
Yeah,
rules.
I mean, I love mixing stuff in as well. Yeah,
because I was thinking about buying one of the Breacher teams.
Yeah,
and using them, but I don't know if you can actually use them.
Yeah, they might. Some of them have rules and some of them don't. But you can also like use them for different things, I guess.
Yeah,
like you can use them as storm shields or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. You could do that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see kind of further books and how it works, but they're still going.
Yeah,
I think that's the crazy thing about it is the fact that you've done 50 books or so.
Yeah.
I mean, partly it's obviously a money game because obviously people are still going to keep reading it, but also I think just the fact that you've got, just some really, really good stuff in there that just kind of works really, and
I'm
it
really
just keeps going. And there's still more stuff about each Primarch that
you can draw that out.
Because the thing is, I don't know how far through the 7 years they actually are.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah,
because I mean, like obviously the Burning Prospero happens quite early on.
Yeah, and it's kind of
relatively early on.
Yeah, they're kind of all separate as well from the main events. I'm not sure exactly what time the time is off.
Because it's just kind of what you class as the main event, really.
Which is like Ispan, isn't it? It's Ispan to Terra. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
and then there's lots of other stuff going on around the edge.
Yeah, so I think it's just kind of.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing if the Emperor survives, if Horus survives.
Exactly. I'm really rooting for a couple of guys in there to just still be at the end. What can I say?
If Lucius the Eternal survives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really, really hoping that
Ferris
is just gonna pull through.
Yeah.
Really gonna pull through.
Yeah. Well, Eidolon survives, so it's very similar energy.
Well, I mean, the one that I'm really hoping for is Sanguinius.
To come back.
Yeah, no, to survive.
To survive.
Because so far he's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
So, who knows, really?
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
So I think it's still a long way to go, but it's kind of just recognising what it is.
Yeah.
And what's the kind of end date with it all. Because the thing is as well, I mean, we're going to do one on 40k as well, but there are so many books in that are really good.
Yeah.
But if you haven't read the Beast Arises series, that's really good actually. And that's kind of, that's quite cool because it's supposed to be in a time, I think it's like the 32nd millennium or something. So it's like, the Imperium is kind of back to what it should be in most terms really. Like none of the Black Crusades have happened yet. Everyone's kind of at peace, everyone's just kind of getting on with things. And then this massive orc invasion happens, and they send the Imperial Fist to go and deal with it. And it all just goes wrong really badly. So that's a really interesting series, just as like a little unique... Because I think most of the time...
Is that where the last...
that's where the last Son of Dawn...
I'll see it with a picture I bought you. It's a cool picture.
It's a really cool picture, actually, yeah. So I think it's an interesting story because that's where the origins of the Death Watch come into it as well. That's kind of from that time period, which is really cool. So yeah, I think I'd like to read some more books on the Grey Knights. But I think there's a couple that are in the Horus Heresy series which talk about the Knights Errant and the kind of forming of that. Yeah. So I'm quite interested to see what happens with that. Like Nathaniel Garrow, that would be interesting to see where he ends up actually.
The unsustainable Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Where, like, for every single Grey Knight, there was 1,000 dead that tried. So
it's so ridiculous that.
For every Grey Knight, which I guess, I don't know how many Grey Knights there are, there's a whole dead chapter. Basically.
I know.
Of people who tried out and didn't get through.
Yeah.
Not sustainable.
A lot of dead people on Titan. A lot of dead people on Titan.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be some really interesting parts of it. I think, I'm really interested to see about Jagatai Khan, like I said, some of the kind of stuff that... Because he's another one that's kind of a bit like... he's off to the side, nobody really cares.
Is he boring? Is he not boring? Yeah. He looks like he might be really boring, but he might not. We don't know.
Exactly. So he might be just whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody who collects white scars. I mean, there obviously must be people out there, but...
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the colours. Like, the white looks a bit cheesy. I thought.
I think it's just really difficult to paint well. Maybe that's why nobody collects them.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to do like white robes on my two off my Captain Moonlight Lieutenant.
You're a maniac.
I've already done four thin layers, and it still looks crap.
Just doing the shoulder pads on my Emperor's Children, which I've done white, absolute nightmare, utter nightmare, just horrendous. And the stupid thing I've done is I should have kept the pads off and sprayed them white, and then the rest of them black. And then stuck their arm pads on afterwards, which I didn't do.
It's probably a good idea.
But even since then, I even blue tacked up the kind of model, I did it so like basically I could do it white and black. Even painting on white is really difficult to make white look good. I mean, that's how crazy it is.
It's just so hard. I mean, I've tried to look on YouTube for a couple of tutorials, but even still, even if you follow the methods, it's still really hard.
Yeah.
So actually, if anybody's listening and they are doing some painting, if you do have any tips about that, please let us know. Because, really, really frustrating to try and get that right. I mean, I'm not the best painter anyway. I'm not bad. I think what's actually helped is the Citadel Paints app.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out. Because I just follow that and that works really well.
Which is this podcast sponsored by.
Exactly. Well, as I was thinking that, should we see if we can get some sponsorship from some people? Yeah. So, just a big shout out to the 45th Cadian Regiment out in the Eastern Fringe. Taking Xenos hearts and names. So that's the thing, isn't it? I think, it's because you've played 30k, obviously, and I haven't. Are the rules pretty similar to? Yeah,
well, it's 7th edition 40k. So the problem with 40k at the time, 7th edition 40k became insane, and like there was some codex which were just ridiculous, and it was all unbalanced and horrible. And my mates just stopped playing because it was just there was no point.
The game was pretty much broken.
It just depends if you bought the right codex, you were going to win.
Right.
Like just like the Dark Angels, if you got loads of free tanks, they just gave you free Razorbacks. Just free Razorbacks. You
really?
Took a certain formation, you got loads of free Razorbacks. It's just like, That's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
It's basically so they could sell more Razorbacks. But, and so what was really cool about 30k is everybody picks from the same codex. So even if the rules are a bit broken and a bit flabby as they were, it's because everyone could just pick the same stuff because it's all legions. And you couldn't have as many special weapons. And the other thing that was really cool is that you'd like a 10-man squad of Astartes would cost 150 points for 10, and then for every...
Is that just with bolters and...
So, yeah, that's with bolters, but the great thing is that they did for every model you added after that, they cost 10 points. So, they were cheaper as you added them. So like if you bought 10 for... that's 15 points per model in the first 10. Then after that, the 10 points. And the idea is you could have more Astartes if you keep them in one squad, but they're less tactically maneuverable.
Right. Yeah,
or you can pay a surplus and have 2 separate squads which are more maneuverable.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was really clever and that was really good. And so so that's what made it really good, was it kind of balanced it and made it fair. That's why it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And it was just really good fun, playing with the original legions and having like Primarchs on the board and fighting Primarchs. It's just really cool.
Really cool idea, isn't
really good fun.
I think, do you think that's the reason why they've brought it back for 40k, actually having them in the game?
Absolutely, because they saw how much excitement and money was being made by the Forge world in 30k.
Yeah.
So they're like, maybe we could have Primarchs.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I've not played against Rebute or Mortarion or
no, nor have I
Magnus,
actually.
But I mean, seeing some of the battle reports online, they are absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
The sheer amount of wounds and all kinds of stuff that they have in terms of attacks and just abilities, it's just crazy.
I'm just waiting for them to bring Fulgrim back. I think it's pretty offensive that he wasn't the first Primarch to be brought back.
Well, I mean, we've had this discussion before, but obviously the fact that most of the Primarchs don't actually die, they just go away, don't they? Essentially, a lot of them go into the warp, which is a bit of a cop-out, but it's an easy one, I suppose. Where you go, I don't know what to do with Lehman Russ, let's send him to the warp.
Just everyone's in the warp.
Just everyone's gone to the warp for some reason.
Oh, because it's where else can you hide them?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because it's just if Lehman Russ was just on a planet somewhere, we were like, let's go and track him down, we need him.
Exactly.
But if he's in the warp, everyone goes, oh, he's in the warp. Okay.
Exactly.
Just, he's kind of vaguely out of contact for some reason, the warp. There you go.
Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? And I think, because Jagatai Khan's in the warp, Korax is in the warp. Don't think who else is in the warp. Dawn's supposed to be dead, but we all know he's not. Obviously, Rabute's back. Because I think it's going to be 2 for 2, and then they're just going to do one heretic, one loyal. And kind
Maybe.
of do it
I don't know.
Because there's always the talk of Lionel Johnson.
Well, because I reckon they'll just bring it back based upon who collects. So if there's... So what's the most collected Astartes? Well, Ultramarines. Okay, bring back Gilliman.
Yeah, sure. But he's also the easiest as well, because it's like...
Yeah.
Oh, well, his wounds could easily heal if we put him in the stasis field for 10,000 years.
And it's like, what's the second most collected Astartes? Probably Dark Angels, I would hazard a guess. So that would make me think...
Are we talking Loyalists or Heretics?
Or Loyalists, because so then if you're going to bring
Death Guard.
exactly. So that's why they brought back Mortarion.
Yeah.
And having said that, who knows why they brought back Magnus first? Because I don't know many people who collect Thousand Suns. I don't see them very often.
Maybe it's like in an effort to try and get more people to...
Yeah, maybe. So who knows what their logic is. Yeah. I always just assume Games Workshop are going from money first ideas, rather than creativity.
Yeah, sure.
And I do know people work for Games Workshop, and that does come across sometimes.
But yeah, no, I think it's right, you said, I think probably the second is got to be Dark Angels, so I'm really surprised that they haven't brought him back yet.
Yeah.
But also, I think from a fluff point of view, he would be really interesting to have.
They could bring back Lehman Russ as a demon Primarch.
I think they should do that. That would be amazing.
Awesome. I could see that.
I can see Space Wolves going mental about it.
Yeah.
Or Space Wolf players.
Yeah.
Probably the Space Wolves as well.
Yeah.
But I think that would be the best, because there's always this talk, isn't there, about a Primarch switching from good to bad and bad to good.
Yeah.
And the only other places that you could do a bad one is Omegon.
Yeah.
After Altharius has died.
I think, because I think that's it. I think that's the way they would. I think he's the only of the fallen Primarchs that they could come back to the
because they're supposed to be known as the guys who don't who don't have that much mutation and haven't actually given that much themselves, that much to chaos. So I think that would be the switch. I think you probably see, isn't it? But whether or not they're going to do it, I don't know. It would be really good though. I think it'd be really, really interesting. Yeah, I think Lionel Johnson is probably going to be the next loyalist one. But I don't know. It's kind of like I said. There's a lot of Imperial Fist players out there, so they might bring back Rogel Dawn at some point.
There is a lot of Imperial Fist players. I think there's more Dark Angels players.
There are more Dark Angels players.
If you go to tournaments, I think you probably see more Dark Angels players.
Well, and just people selling stuff online. Yeah. It's all Dark Angel stuff.
Yeah. Although they were recently in the start set of Dark Angels, so that could be why.
Oh, they were as well.
Which means I can't remember
but is it like just people like collecting and saying, I'm moving on, or I'm getting a new army, so I just want to clear out.
I've got a girlfriend.
I've got a dog and that takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah, I've got a mortgage.
Yeah.
I can't afford this.
I'm now a manager somewhere, so I actually have to care about my job.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know.
All those good reasons.
All of the reasons above. So I think that he's probably the next one. I don't know. I'd like to see Jagatai Khan back.
No.
For some reason.
Wow.
But again, I don't know that many White Scarred players, so I don't know how it would work.
And also, he's just such a nothing key character.
It's only because you haven't read his things.
But he just, I don't know. Maybe. I think, it's true.
Yeah, so we'll see, I think.
That's cool.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think probably in future podcasts, if you're still listening, you're probably not, we
saved all the best stuff.
Well, so the idea for the podcast, we're going to talk about like Warhammer a bit, but we might kind of come with some questions about Warhammer that we can knock around. So it's a little
special
less
every now and again.
But we're also going to do like kind of questions about other things. So we're going to go beyond 40k and 30k and Warhammer.
We're going beyond.
We're going beyond, yeah. We're going to into Age of Sigmar. Nobody plays Age of Sigmar.
Exactly. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Yeah. Somebody pointed out the other day that I've got an Age of Sigmar army because I've got Chaos Demons. And I was like, oh yeah. Still not interested in playing.
You probably could actually play on
now they're round base as well, I could use them.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna.
About that. I think I'm quite looking forward to keeping reading. Like I said, Angel Exterminatus. So yeah, if you've not read any of the books, the fluff is amazing behind it, and the story and the lore.
Yeah.
I'm regularly going on the fandom pages, usually at work, that is just really good at just kind of getting some backstory and some kind of stuff going on. But just the stories of just humanising these people, which you kind of know about, but you don't know about, and this is what's really great about these books, is you begin to know about them.
Yeah.
I think. And even there's now one about the Emperor, just solely about him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think it's about him kind of dealing with the Web Road project.
Oh, yeah.
Back on Earth, and the kind of troubles that he has with that. And I think the reason why he's not around so much, it tells you why he's not around so much, which I think is really interesting, because anybody who's kind of read those books and kind of into the whole kind of series, he kind of features a little bit here and there, but he's not really in it. But his kind of presence is always there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't give a reason why he goes back to Terra. I mean, we obviously all know, but there's no actual particular reason, I don't think. That he he certainly doesn't tell the Primarchs, otherwise they would have all rebelled.
Yeah. Maybe that's a good question for the future. Is the Emperor? Is the Emperor kind of good in as much as like, is he good at what he does? Is the kind of Primarch project, what is that? Are they his children, or are they just weapons? Should he treat them like children?
Are the Adeptus Custodes there to kill them all off once the job's done?
Definitely.
Absolutely. Although he does make them that nice little bunker residency, doesn't he?
Yeah, which is in Deliverance Lost.
Deliverance Lost, which is another great book.
You see the little club.
That's
cool. One, actually, to be fair, that might be my favourite book after Fulgrim. Actually.
It's hard having obviously I love Rogel Dawn, he's my favourite Primarch. But it's hard trying to pick another Primarch.
Yeah.
Because they're all really interesting in different ways.
If I was going to do a loyalist, like kind of Astartes Legion, like kind of lore rather than my non-lore Phoenicians, I'd definitely do...
you do Raven Guard?
I do, Raven Guard, yeah.
It's a hard one for me because the Iron Hands are just badass.
I've also taught myself to paint models in black quite well, so that was also
really easy.
Yes, I've got a quick and easy way to paint them, so that's always
one afternoon you've got 4,000 models done.
Exactly. That's too many, there's not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
after his fan 5.
That's true, actually. So, cause I think if I wasn't going to pick, Imperial Fists, I wouldn't pick the Smurfs because the Ultramarines are just kind of...
Yeah, why would you? Why do you all play Ultramarines? Live a little. Edit that out.
Got some unresolved issues there.
Don't edit that out.
No,
I totally mean that.
Exactly.
What are you doing, Ultramarines players? My gaming group, which is about 10 people, there are, I think, 2 or 3 Ultramarines players.
Really?
It's like, and they're all like, and I think, yeah.
It's because they get the new rule where they can fall back and still shoot. And if you roll on a 5+,
just these are historical ones. Although my friend recently, historical kind of Ultramarines players. One of them,
the Ultramarines aren't real.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, maybe they
look
are.
at ancient Rome.
Maybe they are. Maybe we are in the galaxy. We're just waiting for compliance.
For it. Yeah, exactly. My friend had an idea that the 40k stories were sent back from the future to warn us, so get us ready. And
I don't know. That's quite a bit into the future.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, you got to prepare us early, and
mainly just for the Tyranids.
Yeah, goodness. Yeah.
I'm not joking. If there is something in the galaxy that's like that, I'm really glad I'm going to be dead by the time I get here.
Yeah.
They are terrifying.
But what's the guy? What's the name?
Manius Calgar.
Manius Calgar. So
Manius
Calgar, yeah. So, I said, so he got the thing, he got Manius Calgar, the character he bought quite recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Good model.
Deep striked and killed him, first casualty of the game the other week. That was quite funny. And I said,
wasn't he too far away from his Terminators for him to help?
So he'd put him in the back of the Terminator so I couldn't shoot him, pick him out. So I just deep strike 2 squads worth of veteran jump packs right behind him, shot him, and then charged him. It took 20 models to take him down. But I said to him, Ultramarines live longer with Calgar. Which I thought was hilarious.
I like that.
He didn't really get it.
He didn't get it.
Yeah, if you've, go and Google search Calgon adverts. Washing machines live longer with Calgon. I said Ultramarines live longer with Calgar. I thought it was brilliant. He didn't really get it. There you go.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at the fact that you've not been punched in the face yet by people playing.
Yeah, I realise when I'm annoying them, then kind of draw it back a little bit. Basically, because
somebody else goes, I think you should pull back.
We should maybe end on this because I think we've probably been going for long enough for the first podcast.
Yeah, hour and a half.
I'm really, flipping out. We're going to have to edit this down maybe, I don't know. So my job is a Methodist minister, so my job I've got to be kind of very holy and good and nice. And so then I relax by playing 40k and being a bit of an arse to my friends.
Wiping the table.
Vicariously through the Emperor's Children.
Through the Emperor's Children.
Yeah.
So,
that's it.
Well, yeah, like you said, that's probably a good way to end it. And so we just want to thank you guys for listening in. Hopefully you found this interesting. Like we said, we're going to be talking a little bit about the 40k universe in another podcast. But yeah, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Hopefully, like we said, it's the Horus Heresy in itself is so big. You can't really talk about it all in an hour and a half.
So we'll call this a bit of a starter, a bit of kind of a kind of whimsical opener.
Starter for 10.
Yeah, that's it. And then maybe we'll do more specific questions and more specific subjects.
Yeah.
Within the Horus Heresy and within 40k.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, if you have got any questions about that or something on topics.
Yeah, if there are any topics you want us to discuss, then throw them our way.
Yeah. Why is Fulgrim so infuriating? ?
He's not. He's a legend. He's such a dreamboat.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for listening, guys. And remember, be excellent to each other.
Is that our sign-off catchphrase?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I thought that's quite good. Do you not like it?
Yeah. I feel like it's, what's the one from Anchorman?
You stay classy.
Stay classy. And then thanks for stopping by, San Diego.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by, people who might have listened to it.
And you stay classy.
Stay classy.
Thanks for
stopping by.
Great. Thanks, guys.